Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa Kazem and today I'm going to be showing you guys both of my journals for 2021. This is my first year bullet journaling, so these are the only two bullet journals I've ever done. So if you're excited to see what a beginner's journal looks like, then just keep watching. Also, just a side note, at the end of this journal, I will show you how I have planned to use my 2022 bullet journal and how I've broken up each of the pages. So if you are interested to see that, that'll be at the very end of this video. So both of these journals are from Archer & Olive, and I really enjoyed using both of them. I don't have experience with other journals, so I can't really talk about that, but I really like the quality of both of these. And yes, this is tea splatters. My white journal doesn't look as white anymore, but the black one still looks pretty good. It's just a bit fluffy. Anyway, let's get into my first journal. So I also just want to tell you guys, if you're new to my channel, my dad was in the hospital throughout all of January and he passed away in February. So this journal was very different to me. It wasn't really all about productivity to begin with. It was more of a distraction for myself given everything I was going through. So you're going to see different spreads, and I literally have a month where my mood tracker is just all black, so yeah. Anyway, so this was my cover page. I just wrote my name here, and then I just did a simple flower doodle and wrote 2021. And then I wrote about what I learned in 2020 and my 2021 goals. I don't think I ever looked at this again after I filled it out, and it wasn't very useful to me. My reading log, I really love this reading log, and so in my second journal, I did a reading log again, and I copied these books in there, and I almost hit my goal for the year. This was kind of an idea board to write things down. I kind of used it, I used half of it, but I ended up not needing it for the rest of the year. My future log didn't really use. I just kind of wrote down some birthdays, and I even wrote down when my dad died because it consumed my life and that's all that was happening during that time. And then January, like I said, my dad was in the hospital and I wrote down everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Because that really was my life. I did not know if my dad was going to make it, and he didn't. And so it's not the end. It's not the end of my life yet, and I have to keep going. But I thought I would do a coffee theme, and this was the first mood tracker I ever did. And as you can see, I had a lot of sad days because I did not know what was going on. And I actually started this journal on the 11th because with everything that was happening with my dad, I didn't have time to set this up before the new year started, so I just started it a little bit late. Remember, you can always do that. Don't feel pressured to start the beginning of the year, at the beginning. You can start a journal anytime in the year. I really liked how the coffees looked on this spread. I thought they were very cute. And I loved this one. I loved the croissant and all these drinks and the cookies. Those were really fun to draw. And then February, I did not know yet if my dad was going to live or not when I made this spread, but the quote I put was, "Focus on what you can control," because the death of someone you love is not something you have control over, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and I also was not in a very Valentine mood, so I just kind of did a Greek statue theme. I really admire Greek statues and architecture, and I wanted to just draw that. And this is the mood tracker I was telling you guys about, where it was basically just black the entire month because that was leading up to my dad's death, the day he died, after his death. Not really any point of this mood tracker. I might as well have just colored the whole page black, but it's fine. I still like the drawing that I did. And then for these weeklies, I just kept the boxes simple and drew some Greek statues. They're very loose drawings and sketches. They're not fully accurate, but I just drew based on the photos I saw online on Google. But I really liked how they came out. So for March, I did a lion theme, and that is because March was my dad's birthday and his funeral. They weren't on the same day, but they were both in March. And I decided to write this quote, "Tomorrow is another day." And that is a quote that my dad has always preached to me my entire life. And so I thought it would be very fitting to have on his birthday month journal. I love this mood tracker, and I love the drawing of this lion. And honestly, this mood tracker forced me to come up with a different mood for every day. Like I said, my February one, you saw it was just all black. But after I drew this lion, I told myself I have to rate my mood every day. I can't just say I'm depressed all day, because I really didn't want to do that. Obviously, you can see the orange is my sad days, and I had a lot of those because, you know, it's my dad's funeral and his birthday. But I wanted to force myself to recognize when I had good and bad days, even though I was heavily grieving. And this mood tracker really helped me do that. And I also just love lions. Lions remind me of my dad. He loved lions. He loved the Lion King. So there is a father lion and a cub lion on every page. This one's probably my favorite one. I love how they look together. And like I said, there was no productivity really going on. I was just journaling about how I was feeling, just in a simple sentence for every week. I didn't want to write an entire journal entry. I just wanted a simple sentence every day for how I was feeling. And March is when I decided to incorporate a monthly check-in and monthly review. And I love this so much, and I have continued this throughout the entire year. Basically, my monthly check-in, in the middle of the month and the end of the month, I will write in how I'm feeling emotionally, physically, and how I'm doing with my weight management. And then my monthly review is things I accomplished, things I need to improve on, how I feel about grief, and what would my dad say to me. And this is my favorite box to fill out because I literally picture my dad's voice and what he would say to me at the end of every month. And it's very comforting, especially when you're going through some heavy grief. But yeah, that's the end of that month. And then for April, I kind of tried to change things up with my spreads. For the quote, I wrote, "Stop trying to calm the storm. Calm yourself. The storm will pass." Again, very applicable to my situation. You can't calm grief and what it feels like when your entire family is mourning, but you can calm yourself down when you're in a difficult situation like that. And I find that very helpful for me. This theme was kind of just about like books. I don't really know why, I just thought they looked cute, and I really love this blue color that I did for April. This one I incorporated a monthly goals and an idea board. This is when I stopped using the idea board from the beginning because I started to include them in every month as well, and I found that helpful. And I also decided to include a positivity log, and I have kept up with this every month because I love it. Basically, every day I write down something positive that happens in the day, and that's really helpful for me, especially when I'm having sad days. So like if I'm having, so like on the 21st, I'm about to color in that I had a bad day. I can look back at the 10th and see what did I say that was positive for myself. And it just is very encouraging, and I really like the idea of having both of these next to each other. And so I continue that for the rest of the year. My habit tracker, 8 trackers on a 2-page spread. I ended up changing this later on because it wasn't necessary. Weight tracker, I still keep up with my weight tracker, I love it, but I found a way to condense it so I'm not wasting 2 pages. And my productivity tracker, this is something new that I incorporated, and I have been doing it every month and I love it. Basically, I track when I sleep, when I'm relaxing, when I'm studying, and when I'm productive. I changed the categories a little bit throughout the months because I graduated, so I wasn't studying anymore, but it really does help you analyze what's going on. And these are my weeklies. I tried to do a different style of weekly for these ones every week, and they're a little bit all over the place, but they were fun to doodle and draw every week. And then yeah, this was my monthly check-in and monthly review. Again, I really love filling this spread out. And then this is for May. I felt like doing a very pink floral theme, and I wrote, "A rose must remain with the sun and the rain, or its lovely promise won't come true. And I love that quote because, again, like, obviously you need sunlight for plants to grow, but you also need rain and rainy days. And I just love the meaning of that quote. Again, so for April and May, I tried bigger calendars, and I ended up really not using these boxes that much, so you'll see I got rid of them later on. I did monthly goals, my idea board, positivity log, and mood tracker. You'll see sometimes I don't fill out near the end of the month. I don't know why, I just either don't have time or I get lazy. But yeah, this theme was really fun to draw, but it was definitely painful on my hand drawing all these roses. But I really liked it. This was again when I tried different weeklies. This one's probably my favorite weekly of this setup. This one was really cute too, I just didn't end up using it that much. And then this is my monthly check-in and my monthly review. So then we're on to June. Now June, I really loved this whole setup that I did, but I actually ended up not using it. I wanted to do a summery camper van theme, and I loved how all of the spreads came out, but I literally did not use it. And that is because we were moving. Well, first we were house hunting, and then we were moving, and there was just a lot going on. So after the 5th, I literally did not use it, which is kind of sad because I put a lot of effort into this theme and I really liked it. But yeah, after the 5th, did not use it. I might recreate this theme again later on. I don't know for sure. Now this is like the horrifying part of this journal. I did not do July this year in my bullet journal because again we were moving and there was too much going on. But yeah, here's where the nightmare begins. After this week, I obviously didn't do any other weeklies, and I started using these pages to practice different pens and color tests, and it is quite horrific to look at. Like, this is very ugly, and this is in the back of my journal. And I've cut pages from here, and I use them in my next journal. So I'm practicing my December theme. It's quite ugly. You can see I've teared out some pages and I've used them. But yeah, this is the end of the journal. It's quite ugly compared to the beginning. Anyway, that was all of my first journal. And so now let's get into my second journal. So that is this one, again from Archer and Olive, and I really loved using this one. I loved how the journal was black because I didn't have to worry so much about getting it dirty. So again, just wrote my name on the front page. I don't ever do a key because I recognize the way I do symbols and it just takes up too much time for me to write a key. For this journal, for my title page, I wanted to specifically say that this was August through December, and I really liked that, and so I ended up doing that for my next journal as well. These are my yearly goals. I definitely thought I was going to fill out more, so for my next journal, if you've seen that video, I condensed it down to one page instead of using up this much space, but I still like this layout. Again, my future log, I condensed it as well because I realized that I'm only doing half a year per journal and there was no point writing 12 months when I'm not going to use it. And my reading log, I love this one. I almost hit my goal of this year. I am 2 books away and today is the 30th, so I definitely won't read 2 books in 48 hours, but I did very well. Normally I read 0 books in a year, so reading 13 is still quite an improvement for me. And then I decided to add a movies list and TV shows list. These are movies and TV shows from all of 2021 because I didn't include it in my previous journal, and I think I should have thought more about how to fill this out. I tried to make these look like movie tickets, but you can see how many shows I watch. So there are 27 shows here, and this clearly was not enough boxes to fill it out, and so I started filling it out like this with little dotted lines because I wasn't sure how full this was going to be by the end. And then my movies list, I ran out and I started writing underneath as well some extra movies, but I wasn't far off with this one, pretty close. And then this is my weight loss tracker for the entire last few months. This is from August to December, and I did not hit my goal this year, but it's okay. I really liked tracking my weight like this, and I actually think this prevented me from gaining weight because literally just a few bad habits and I can gain weight very rapidly, and I really liked this because I felt like it kept me in control and held me accountable for my eating and exercising and whatnot. So yeah, I really like this spread, and I've incorporated this into my new journal as well. Meals page, did not use, I literally wrote down one recipe and that was it. If you've seen my latest video on my setup, I show a completely different way that I've done my menu, and it's already helping me so much more even though the new year hasn't begun yet. So if you want to see how I did a meals page but better, that'll be in my other video. And then I did a little self-care page. I loved this page. I looked at it every time I was stressed and I needed something to do, and I really recommend this because it's very easy to just stare at a wall and not know what to do with your day. So now we're getting into August, and I just really wanted to paint the ocean. It was very, summery, especially in California. And so I just wrote this easy quote, "An ocean breeze puts the mind at ease." And I really love this theme. And this is when I condensed my monthly goals onto the calendar page because, like I said, I wasn't using the notes and tasks box. So I thought, I still incorporated notes here, but I decided to try and condense it a bit more. And then I have my positivity log and mood tracker. I really love this type of mood tracker. If you do not feel like coloring in different shapes and drawings every month, I do recommend something like this. I have the days down the side and then the different moods. And basically, when I'm having a very, very good day, I have a very long line. When I'm having a bad day, it's shorter. And it also allows you to put like in between days. Like you don't have to be jumping on the moon and then just normal. You can say you're kind of in between. So yeah. And this is when I condensed my habit tracker and my weight tracker because I realized I did not need two double page spreads for these. And yep, just still with the ocean. This was my first time trying a Dutch door, and I did all of my weeks in here, and I did really like it, but it felt a little bit cramped. I was still able to fit like each daily box and then a tasks and notes for each day of the week. But I then later on wanted to add more things to my weeklies, and this wasn't enough room. But if you just like having a Monday through Sunday and then a little room for notes, this is a great layout, and I get to enjoy my artwork no matter what week I'm on. So nice. And then this was my monthly check-in and monthly review. I was gonna paint a little ocean here as well, but I was so tired after painting this many oceans, and I just wrote calm like the sea because I was feeling calm. Then for September, I literally created this entire theme in like 2 hours, and I'm very proud of myself, even though it's very, very simple. And for the quote I put, "Never underestimate the power you have to take your life in a new direction." Again, I really love that. This was right after we moved. I set up this month before we moved though, so I did not have time to fully bullet journal, but this was a very cute theme. It's literally just a bunch of bricks and some plants, but I really liked it. I loved having the Tombow dual brush pen behind the writing, and I've been meaning to do that again, but I keep forgetting. And then for this month, I did the same type of weekly as last time because, again, I did not have time to decorate each weekly, so I just decorated the sides, and I tried some washi tape. And then this is my monthly check-in and my monthly review. So, October is probably one of my favorite months. It is an American Horror Story theme, and this is the character from the American Horror Stories show. It's on Hulu. It's basically a spin-off, and they included an extra character for the Murder House season, and this is meant to be her in front of Murder House. And I love this setup, and I decided to go with the quote, "Do not for 1 second think I am weak," and this is by the character Cordelia Good from season 3. And this was one of my favorites. I loved all of these drawings. This one's Lady Gaga. I love this one. And this was definitely me stepping out of my comfort zone. I have never sketched people this small, and I have never done them in pen either. And I loved condensing my habit tracker to fit 3 in a row like this. And I found out a way to have my weight tracker not, horizontal. I made it fit on the page vertically. This is still one of my favorites. I love Sarah Paulson. Oh, for this month, I also decided to try a gratitude log, and I wasn't that big of a fan of it, but it was fun to have this little page here. And I loved my idea board. I ended up needing to write down quite a few things on this page. And then this month, I actually started to move my productivity tracker from the center of the page to the edge, and I just loved that. It gave me more room to draw and more room for my notes too. And yeah, I just like that. This is my new type of weekly that I am obsessed with. And basically I can have a calendar overview, a task list, each day of the week in a massive box, a notes list, and room to write a quote every week. And I love this. It forces me to think more positively. And if you find yourself struggling with being a positive person, I definitely recommend writing a quote every week, because it forces me to read different positive quotes, and it really helps. And then I just pick my favorite and put it at the end. So these are all characters from the show. I was very proud of this drawing, very proud. And then I just wrote big American Horror Story, kind of like the logo. And I love these characters too. Definitely one of my favorite setups. So for November, I went kind of crazy for my birthday theme and stuck black bullet journal paper into my bullet journal, and I did a gold mirror theme. Basically, I wanted it to feel like you're in a dark, spooky mansion that has like black floral wallpaper and gold mirrors everywhere. Kind of strange, I know. For my quote for this month, I wrote, "Behind these walls is where I feel safe, but I know you would dare me to break them down and keep moving forward." And that's just kind of a quote that I wrote for myself to just make myself feel more encouraged, kind of as if I was talking to my dad. For this month, I did my monthly goals in a more narrow column, and I've really liked this format, and I've kept up with this. By the way, I will say, if you're going to stick bullet journal paper this many times over, I think I stuck about 20 pages in, it's gonna almost break the binding of your bullet journal. I would not recommend this. But I really love this. Look at my notes in this little mirror. I thought it was so cute. Also for this month, I went on holiday to New York. So this weekly I did properly. This weekly I did a more quicker layout because I just didn't have enough time. And then I did not take my bullet journal to New York with me, so there was no point writing anything out. And then the week I got back, again, I kind of arrived back on the Sunday, so I didn't have time to set up a weekly, so I just wrote on the black bullet journal paper. And then this was my monthly check-in and my monthly review. And now we're on to this month, which is December. I love this theme. It was very simple, quick, and calming for me, especially because December was when my dad caught COVID last year, so I did not want to do a Christmassy celebratory theme. I just wanted to do something that made me feel calm. And we live near the mountains, so I love looking at the mountains and the night sky, and it makes me feel relaxed, so I thought I would put that into my bullet journal. And for the quote, I wrote, "As the day turns into night, keep your worries out of sight. Close your eyes and go to sleep, for all the good times are yours to keep. And I love that quote, especially because I read my journal at night, or like I open it at night, and that really helps me relax before bed. Yes, we're almost at the end. I have 2 more days left, so that's why these are not complete. Yes, I really enjoy putting my trackers like this centered. That was a page from my dad. It was a letter I wrote to him, so just gonna kind of skip over that. It's kind of more private. Yeah, this is my productivity log. And for these weeklies, I incorporated a meal tracker, and I love this so much that I have done this for my January setup as well. And I find it very helpful to write down what you're gonna eat every day, try to plan ahead. This month has been kind of hectic, so there's literally like Subway, Chick-fil-A, but other than that, I still found it very helpful, and I really like how it's incorporated into my weekly spreads, and that's what this Dutch door is for. It gives me so much room. And then this is the last day. We are here right now on the 30th, and I just did a bigger spread here. And then this was my monthly check-in and monthly review. Today was the 30th, so I filled this in. And that's basically the end, but at the end of my journal, I wrote how I'm going to be setting up my journal in my 2022. I'll quickly go over this if you guys are interested. So basically, an Archer and Olive journal has 160 pages, and I counted how many pages I used for each month and how I wanted to lay them out. So basically there are 26 weeks in 6 months, and I wanted to use one journal for 6 months. And I love that Dutch door spread, but if I were to do like cut Dutch doors for every single week of the year, I would go over the amount of pages that fit in a journal. So basically what I've decided to do is that for half of the weeks of the year, I'm going to use just 2 pages and stick in additional paper with washi tape. If you don't know what I mean by that, you can check out my January video because I show how it's done in there and I really like it. And then for the other half of the weeks of the year, I'm going to cut Dutch doors. And by doing that, with my 2022 intro setup, I counted the amount of pages, and I counted the amount of pages I used for every month, and that totals 163. And again, an Archer and Olive journal only has 160 pages. And so I've decided that throughout the year, I will just attach 3 additional pages either throughout the journal or add them at the end in my June setup. And then that way I will use my next journal from beginning to end and fit everything in perfectly. So I recommend doing this if you know for a fact that you want to fit everything in one journal. Try to plan it ahead, and that might be very helpful. But otherwise, these empty pages, I am going to use them for my next journal. Every time I need to cut a piece of paper, I will come to the back of this journal. But otherwise, that is it. That is the end. There's both of my journals. Let me grab them. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which themes did you like? Which themes did you not like? I'm very curious to know. How has your first bullet journal experience been? Has yours been similar to mine? If you're way ahead of me, please tell me how it's going for you. I'm very interested. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe and like this video and come back for more. My January theme is already up, and I'm very excited to film my February one. It's a bunch of Disney princess themes, but without drawing princesses themselves. So if that interests you, make sure to check out my video. And yeah, anyway, if you are still here watching to the end, thank you guys so much for watching. I really have appreciated all of the support from you guys throughout this year. Many of you have left such heartwarming comments about my dad's death, and I really appreciate it, especially since I don't even know all of you in real life, and you all say such sweet and amazing things, and it's so nice to know that there are good people out there who show care and kindness for free, you know? You just reach out to me on your own, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, sorry for the ramble. Hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!